there comes a point in time where you have to admit that you've been beaten. There comes a point in time where you have to realize your opponent is just better than you are. I think we're here in week 13 of the NFL season. I am Joe Giglio, and Anthony Guerra, the Pizza Czar of Raleigh, is better than me at picking NFL games because he's now won 7 of his last 8. He is 20-14 on the season. He's also won 9 of 11 props on the season. So for real, if you're not taking Anthony's props at this point, I don't know what you're doing. 9-2 on the season. Anthony, I don't like to admit it, man, but you know what? You've got me here. You've got me.
Joe, I appreciate that. I really do. We work really hard. In the beginning of the year, we were working hard as a camp. I was talking to my people. We were really working through this. We knew that it would be a tough battle with you, but we knew that we would get to this place. We would break the will. We've done it. The system's working. Props to the team. Well done. It's not just me. I work with a lot of people around me that help, and it's great to see the results.
Yeah, I'm going to blame the Jets at this. This is the point where I'm going to blame the Jets because I've been wrong about the Jets for the last 4 weeks in a row. They have really just flummoxed me. I watched them last week, and I'm like, they are really just a bad football team. Reports are that our guy, Aaron Rodgers, coming back to practice. He has, either stoked the flames one way or the other with Pat McAfee on his regular appearances with McAfee. First by getting people ramped up, saying it'll be a fortnight or 2, and then now being like, well, we got to see how it goes. So as a Jets fan, they are there's 2 different ways to look at the Jets right now at 4-7 on the season. They're either 2 games out of the wild card or they're 2 games out of last place in the entire conference. So it could go either way. What would you like to see from Aaron Rodgers? Would you like to see him try to come back in this miserable season? Or would you rather see the Jets loaded up, get Devontae Adams, put the super team back together and see what happens next year?
No, listen, I saw this and the Pope came out and said, did you see the Pope? Mike Francesa, the Pope, came out and said that Pope. It would be the Pope, the actual Pope. Is there another Pope? The king of Diet Coke? I saw that. Listen, if the guy can play, he should try to come back. I mean, listen, I saw him throw the ball. Him on 1 foot's better than most people on 2. It really, my take here is if he could physically do it, it would be interesting to see him change the perception of the injury, of the recovery, of the process. Because there's always somebody who does something. If you think back a few years ago, Adrian Peterson came back from an ACL faster than anybody ever saw or thought possible. Oh my God, you couldn't possibly do that. Or, oh my God, that's not, he's crazy. And he came back and he played well. And you saw other running backs now coming back from that injury. That's no longer the end of your career as it used to be. Maybe he figured something out. Maybe he didn't. I mean, clearly, if he comes back, everybody on the Jets, everybody connected to Rodgers, everybody who's ever spoken to him is all going, please don't mess up your ankle again. Like, leave the Achilles, please. Not that. Now, the main problem with the Jets is if he came back, the offensive line is horrendous. Yeah. The middle of the offensive line is horrendous. I mean, he would have you got to go in the shotgun and he's got to throw the ball in less than a second. Ball's got to be gone.
If Boyle's pick 6 at the end of the half against Miami
Hail Mary
didn't encapsulate the entire season for the Jets, then I don't know what does.
That's an incredibly bad moment. That is an incredibly bad
99-yard return on a play where you just take a knee and get the hell out of there.
But you knew
you can't complete a pass anyway.
Oh God! How about, have you ever seen Tim Boyle's college numbers?
No,
I'm doing this on the fly.
No,
Are you ready for this?
Go ahead.
His UConn numbers, 3 years of play. He's an NFL quarterback. What do you think he did at UConn?
Not one thing.
Touchdown to interception ratio. What if I told you it was 1 touchdown to 13 INTs? You would say there's no way.
So he tore it up at Eastern Kentucky, and that got him a ticket?
Something like that, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, listen, those UConn numbers are some of the worst football numbers I've ever seen. Joe, I'm confident that I can go better than 1-13 if I played quarterback.
No, they had some bad teams. I will say that.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I mean, I'm not here to say that, but Timmy Boyle, how do you get into the NFL? But why is he my guy? There's really no one else.
That's what I'm saying.
There's really no one else.
There has to be somebody else.
It got to be. But no,
this is Hackett. You know, he was in Green Bay, so he knew the system. Sometimes you just bring guys in who could run the scout team. I honestly, I can't explain it. I watched the game and I thought this is malpractice by the Jets organization to be this ill prepared. I just think the NFL's been for shit this year, by the way.
Yes,
it's not been good.
Yes, I agree with that.
I really, really need my lock of the week this week because I think that might rescue some of my faith in what the playoffs and the Super Bowl could look like heading down the stretch here. But to this point, the overall play in the NFL has been crappy. They need to be quite thankful that Taylor Swift's involved tangentially in any possible way with the league right now, because otherwise, what are we talking about? We got Aaron Rodgers. We've got what? The Cowboys. I know ESPN spends a lot of time talking about the Cowboys and are they for real? They certainly look the part when they play bad teams, but when they play real teams, we still haven't seen evidence that Dak Prescott is capable of beating good teams. So, you know, they're a little bit lost. Let's stay on the Jets, though. They're at home. The Jets have lost 4 games in a row. They lost to a Chargers team that pretty much has quit. They lost to a Raiders team that found new life under Antonio Pierce for a second. They got smoked by Buffalo, and then they got bludgeoned by Miami last week. Now they host Atlanta, who's scared of its own shadow. But I'm going Atlanta because I've seen enough out of Tim Boyle to say I'm certainly not putting any of my money on him.
Well, all right. I'm going to go the opposite way. I do also have the numbers from Eastern Kentucky.
Okay.
I pulled them for the listeners. 11 touchdowns, 13 INTs.
So no, he never popped anywhere.
What? I expect this to be like some sort of like, oh, I see it. It's like
a 50 and 10.
Yeah, one leech year where he throws 50 touchdowns. No. He is this guy. That's who he is. Somehow he just like held on long enough that he must be nice enough where he like cooks breakfast well. Like he brings Starbucks for the team every day. I keep Boyle around. He's fine. He brings his breakfast.
So you're going.
I'm actually,
Jets.
I'm actually going to go with the Jets here. They're at home. We're getting points. We like home teams. I think the Atlanta offense and Desmond Ridder is going to have a hell of a time moving the ball against the Jets. I just don't. Desmond Ridder and company, it's not going to move the ball. Now, the Jets are terrible. They're with Rodgers practicing. With Rodgers.
Rising tide lifts all boats.
100%. He's on the field. He blessed them with his presence. I think that shoot. If they lose this game, this is full dumpster fire. You could just fire Robert Saleh after the game. Just send him home. Fire Hackett. Hackett and his father, by the way, 2 of the worst Jets offensive coordinators I've ever dealt with. I can't stand either one of them. The offense is awful. The ball never goes. Similar to NC State before they figured out Concepcion, you get the ball to the best player. Just get the ball to the best player. They have 2 difference makers, and they never get the ball. Get a Garrett Wilson. Maybe. Get a Breece Hall. Please. Run the ball. Play defense. Falcons stink. Give me the points.
What the hell's going on out here?
What the hell's going on, Vince Lombardi, is I keep losing my lock of the week. So I am going to try something a little bit different here because we talk about home teams, right? My home teams. I had Titans last week. They picked me up. The Cardinals did not. The Cardinals didn't even show up in that football game, and neither did the Jets. So screw the home teams, Anthony. Screw them.
Send it.
I'm going to go with the Panthers for my first lock of the week. Panthers are getting 5 points. I like the dead cat bounce of Frank Reich being fired. I like that they're playing Baker Mayfield. So their defense should be like, oh, yeah, that guy sucked in practice last year. We could beat him. I do think Tampa's going to win the game, but I think 5 is too many points So give me the Panthers +5 on the road.
Would you have fired McGowan, though? I don't like that bet because firing Josh McGowan is a bridge too far. Frank Reich should have never been hired. That's fine.
Yeah, I think there's some people that are considered, the head coach's guy. I would just assume in this particular case, McCown was considered one of Frank's guys. That's all I can think of.
You take him out like a lion or taking over pride. You kill all the male heirs.
The other way to go on this, though, is that remember last year when he fired Rule and the interim was Wilkes and he performed well. And it put David Tepper in a difficult situation where he probably should have just kept Wilkes as the coach. I could see McCown having success if they had turned it over to him and then being in a similar situation. I think he went like the safest possible route. Like, give me this special team scrub who no one's ever heard of. And because he didn't make Thomas Brown the interim coach either. And that was by design.
Yeah, Thomas Brown would be a choice.
He didn't make Jim Caldwell the interim coach by design.
I was surprised. Yes. Okay. So you're saying it's all an Illuminati move.
Yes. This is one like, hey, we screwed this up last year by putting a live, ticket in there. Let's make sure that nothing possibly good happens. As I talk myself out of taking the Panthers. No, this is more of they're playing Baker Mayfield. I just don't think Baker Mayfield's that good. I know the Buccaneers coach is not good.
No,
I'm just taking the points.
This we've guaranteed.
This line probably should be 3. This should be a home 3, not 5.
I know that Joe Douglas listens to the podcast, so I think he might take this. Can I sign McGowan as my quarterback for the Jets? Because I feel like even at the age of 42, he's better than Tim Boyle. I would
There's no doubt you see Flacco might start for the Browns this week.
I would. Why the Jets didn't get Flacco to back up is shocking. Mike White was my top guy. I would never let him walk. I would have cut Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson stinks. Mike White could throw for 300 in a game. Easy. Joe Flacco is going to throw 3 INTs, but at least he's going to throw the ball down the field. Running backs can run because you're going to go over the top on you. Safeties have to play back. All right. Give me, speaking of playing back,
okay.
I am going to play my Dolphins. They are going to give 9.5. They're going to the Commanders. Speaking of a bad coaching change, Jack Del Rio getting fired, I don't like. You take away the 2 best players, the 2 edge rushers on that defense, then you get mad at the defensive coordinator for what? If you went to fire me and I'm Jack Del Rio, if you took my 2 guys, fire me.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you? You kidding? Joe, if I took away how do you take the 2 best guys, trade them away for draft picks, then go, the defense, how did that go, Ron? I want Ron Rivera, because I'm sure Ron is a stand-up guy. I'm sure he decided, maybe it was like, hey, Jack, this isn't working out. You run for the hills. I'm going to take a couple of shots, but you go to the beach first. Save me a cabana. I'll be in the cabana next to you in Mexico in no time.
I got Belichick ticketed for this job next year.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New owner, making a big splashy move. This is also where Vince Lombardi concluded his coaching career. And Belichick is a big student of the game. And plus, obviously, his time is clearly up in New England. When you lose to Tommy DeVito, those are the rules.
Yeah,
because Tommy DeVito beat Ron Rivera, he will be gone, and he beat Belichick, he will be gone.
Tommy Cutlets.
I like Belichick in the Washington old gold and burgundy next season.
Wow,
it's my big prediction for this week. How's that?
Wow, that's a bold one. Where does he go? Yeah, but why would you take it if you're Belichick? Aren't you looking for a quarterback?
I mean, he could work with Sammy Howell. Bargain basement fits his model of you build a roster around a bargain basement quarterback. That's perfect, actually. That's exactly what he wants.
Yeah, I mean, all right. I guess it's sort of like the guy who doesn't realize it's okay. All right.
Yeah.
He outkicked his coverage before he had Tom Brady. I mean, it's easy to be considered the best coach of all time when you have the best defensive player of all time, Lawrence Taylor, and the best offensive player of all time, Tom Brady.
He did happen to coach both of those.
He did have both, and makes it a lot easier. As Phil Jackson. Although, if I were him, I'd be surprised. Maybe a return to the Jets. You got Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, no. I can't see that.
No, it's not going to happen. All right, he's getting canned. But, all right, give me. Yeah,
whoa. You're like in a big hurry today.
I want winners.
I got way too much sound over here for you to be jumping from one spot to the next. Give me some love, man. Come on.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
And your favorite.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Gets me every time. Gets me every time. All right, so let's go to your lock of the week, which is your prop of the week. Again, 9-2 on the season in props. Last week you had you really tried last week because Boyle had 38 yards passing in the first half. He brings that thing home for you.
Wow.
And as chief picks and pizza correspondent relayed to me, Ken, he said, man, the energy at Oakwood Pizza Box was off the charts.
Fire.
Counting down Tim Boyle's passing yardage
I thought
in the second half of that game.
I had no business on that bet. No business winning that bet. No business. But 38 yards in the first half, the fail Mary. We were discussing whether or not can we count interception yards as passing yards?
That would have been helpful.
Please, like anything. That we would have had it pretty clear. I was trying to call timeouts there at the end. I'm like, timeout!
Hurry!
One more pass.
All right, so
Fall forward.
You're going with Kenny Pickett this week.
I'm going Kenny Pickett this week. As we determined earlier, these prop bets are based on stats.
Right.
Stats are averages. Averages sometimes lie.
Okay.
For Kenny Pickett, if you look at the beginning of the season, Joe, how was the first few weeks?
232, 222, 230. You're going yardage or you're going touchdowns? Which way are you
I'm going yardage here.
Okay. So he popped 200 in 5 of his first 6 starts, popped 220 in his first 5 of his first 6 starts. He's only topped 200 once in the last 5, and that was this week against Cincinnati without Matt Canada calling the plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers. First time since 1941 that the Pittsburgh Steelers have made an in-season coaching change on their staff. Congratulations, Matt Canada. Take a bow.
He is somewhere drinking margaritas saying, no, it wasn't me.
Oh, no, he's ready because when Belichick takes the Washington job, Matt Canada is going to be the next head coach of the New England Patriots.
He must interview really well.
He has to fall upwards. That's all he does.
Interesting.
That's all he's capable
Maybe
of
he'll
doing.
go to the league office or something.
So the number is 200 on the nose.
It is 199.5.
199.5. Okay, so he's topped that only once in the last 5 games.
Yeah, but I think Matt Canada not being there is a huge difference.
Okay.
I think the offense is energized. We're going to move the ball. We threw for 278 last week.
Against a good Cincinnati defense, by the way.
Good team, close game.
Okay. So they're playing the Cardinals at home. The Cardinals who piped me last week. I like where you're going here. I like that you like to follow my loss by rubbing the salt in the wound. That's
I feel like you're right. You're just sometimes you're a week ahead.
sometimes you're a week ahead of the curve.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So you're going Kenny Pickett over 199.5. All right. So I have mentioned how bad the NFL season I think has been this year, and I don't really think there's any disputing that. But first, before we get into my last pick of the week, and then before we get into the Oakwood Pizza Box question of the week, just your reminder, all of our picks are brought to you by Wings Over Raleigh, Wings Over Chapel Hill, Wings Over Greenville, place in Raleigh on Hillsborough Street, right across from UT, free parking. You order online, wingsover.com. It doesn't get any easier than that. Great wings, great selection of different flavors. And the tater tots, as I've been explained to me, like, Joe, you really need to sell the tots because they're delicious. I'm a wing. I don't necessarily like a starch with my wings because I feel like I'm being healthy when I eat wings. So I don't love a way. But the tots are the answer here. So again, get yourself some wings, get yourself some tots. I love the sweet chili. I love the hot buffalo. So wingsover.com. Ryan Maloney's crew, they've got you covered.
Are you a blue cheese or a ranch guy?
I am from New Jersey, so I am a blue cheese person. I don't dislike ranch, but I don't like it on my salads. I don't like dipping stuff in it. It's not me.
Do you eat you have the
yes, and I love the carrots and the celery. Yes,
yeah,
that's big for me. I enjoy that immensely. So Wings Over does such a great job. So my lock, let's talk about this game. Can it redeem the NFL season? It is a rematch of the NFC Championship from last year. It's the Eagles against the 49ers. I'm just going to break every rule possible here. The Eagles have the best record in the NFL. They're 10-1. The Eagles in the last 3 weeks have beaten Dallas, Kansas City, and Buffalo. And you're sitting here saying, Giglio, why on earth would you bet against the Eagles at home as a home dog? And I'm going to tell you this because I feel like they've poured it out 3 weeks in a row. Go back to, they had an open date there. So they had Dallas open date, poured out, win at Kansas City, poured out in overtime, really kind of scraped it by last week against Buffalo. I think the 49ers are the best team in the NFL. I think they announced their presence with authority. The fourth string quarterback's not playing in this game as he had to in the NFC Championship game last year. So give me the Niners, lay the points, and I think this has a chance. It's the Fox featured game on Sunday. I think this has a chance to kind of redeem some of what we've seen so far in the NFL this year.
Interesting. Huh. I don't know. I'd be on the opposite side of you. I like the Eagles at home. I don't like anybody traveling. That is a big game.
The Eagles are 10-1. Their only loss is to the Jets. Like,
yeah, but the Jets were that was a they were a juggernaut then though. That was
right.
That was all the way back in week 5 or 6 when we had hope.
But I also think that the flip side to the Eagles having to pour everything out is the 49ers. I feel like I've been eating bonbons the last couple of weeks. Like, you take a look at their schedule and you're like, okay, now what have you been up to? Jacksonville, Tampa, Seattle, I think they load this thing up and pour it out. That's my thinking on this.
Interesting.
So give me the Niners in this one.
Is Taylor going to be at the game, or is she still she's in Brazil? Where's the tour?
Ovius is the official Taylor correspondent on the squad.
Does she watch the brother play, or
I can't keep up on what happens and what doesn't happen. So
trying to see what the crowd would be like. That's all. Philadelphia's a tough place to play, though.
It is, and they'll be jazzed up. And there's been a lot of talk between these two specifically about like, hey, you guys made the Super Bowl last year because we had our fourth string quarterback. We didn't even have our backup quarterback. Okay, so look, man, that's part of it. It's all part of it. I get it, but I love. I think the Niners. This is one of those. Show me who you are. Put your money on the table. I think the money's on the table, and I think the Niners take care of business. All right, Anthony, let's get to the Oakwood Pizza Box. Pizza question of the week. All of our conversations here, specifically about the Jets and Anthony's prop lock of the week, is brought to you by the Oakwood Pizza Box, open Wednesday through Sunday, open for lunch Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday is the best time. Stop by, come see us, get a square, get some Narragansett, enjoy some company. And maybe you can watch maybe some real-time college basketball. But let's do a college basketball futures too. After this, we'll do our Oakwood Pizza Box question of the week first. Order online, oakwoodpizzabox.com. Or again, just stop by. It's on Person Street, right across from the Krispy Kreme. Can't miss it. Best pizza not only in Raleigh, but in North Carolina. So, Anthony, the Oakwood Pizza Box pizza question of the week comes from the Eford Studios, comes from Anthony in the Eford Studios. Joe, have you seen the new merchandise at the Oakwood Pizza Box? And as a follow-up, why isn't there any OG merchandise available for purchase at the Oakwood Pizza Box? Or at the very least, the QR code where we can listen to this program. That's a great question, Anthony. I don't know, but I will say a man's got to run his own race. That's fine. I get that. But Anthony, what's up with your new merch?
Oh, we got new sweatshirts are coming in. Everybody's been yelling about sweatshirts.
Okay, did you get a crew neck sweatshirt, or did you get a?
I know you're a hoodie guy.
Sweatshirt?
We did a crew neck. A crew neck.
More crew necks.
If they are back, they are refreshed. If we need reach out. If we need hoodies, we could do hoodies. You want a hoodie? You're a hoodie guy. I see around your neck.
Hoodies. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
How much for this new merch?
I don't know. We got to price it out. It has not landed yet, so we'll see. Hopefully, inflation has not affected the sweatshirt market.
Okay.
I'm very exhausted.
And you still have your t-shirts? Your t-shirts are gray and black?
T-shirts are gray and black. There's more t-shirts coming.
Okay.
Very hard to keep in stock. I don't know how people run retail shops. I can't. It's a thing. It's a thing.
I might know somebody who can get some t-shirts for you.
Do we have a sponsor?
I might know. Yeah, the OG.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. No, we also on a pizza side note, if you were traveling to the Philadelphia game, I would eat at Angelo's in South Philly. Great pizza spot.
Philly does not have its own distinctive pizza style, does it?
Is it? No, not like its own. No. Tacanelli's would be like the most Philadelphia thing as like a historical pizza, but it's not a. It looks like New York style pizza.
Okay.
It's not radically different. It's not like the sandwich game. The sandwich game that they.
I was going to say
The sandwiches. It's unique.
Are you a Philly guy? Like the actual city itself? Do you like going to Philly?
I do like going to Philly.
Okay.
I'm a Philly guy. I like Philly a lot. Food in Philly is very good. Wine in Philadelphia is horrendous.
The wine is.
Wine is horrendous. Not because of the people, great people in Pennsylvania, terrible laws.
Oh,
The alcohol laws are worse than here.
they're
For
closed at
everybody
like noon,
complaining.
at midnight too.
Yeah, and you have to buy beer and wine. Wine and liquor come from the state,
Interesting.
so it's even worse than what we have here. Yeah, no, it's terrible. Bad alcohol state. Benjamin Franklin would be very upset.
I think you're 100% right, Joe. Okay.
That clip will never get old. Before we get out of here on the fine words of the Got Man, let's make two futures bets. Let's pick two teams who we think. Let's buy a ticket for the college basketball, men's basketball national champion. Here are the odds from DraftKings if you're watching on the YouTubes. I'm going to let you draft your team first. Your first pick in the futures bet draft for 2024 is
Marquette.
Go
Give me
Marquette.
Marquette. I like the team. I like the point guard. I like Shaka. I like the Big East. Underrated. I mean, we're in ACC country. I understand that. Big East is tough, man.
Marquette 15-1. All right, I like it. I will stay in the Big East. My first selection will be Creighton.
Oh,
Give me that shit cray at 25-1. I think that's a good number. It's a good ticket to sit on. Point to the passer though, Patrick Stevens and Luke Cock. When I asked them, like, hey, like, who should I get a ticket on? They both independently had said to me, Creighton's got a bunch of guys who can still play. And I was like, okay. So Creighton's my first pick. I'm gonna pick snake style. I'm gonna take my next pick is a little bit further down the board here. This is a team that just lost to Gonzaga, but I think they just have a Gonzaga problem. That's UCLA. I can't quit my guy, Mick Cronin at UCLA.
Oh, that's your guy.
West Coast, but they play like they're from the East. Plus, it's like they're a total Euro squad. They are all international players. So UCLA, that's a juicy number at 40-1. That's my second pick.
I like that. Listen, I like betting this future though because I believe not at all in the top two teams here.
Oh, yeah. Purdue 9-1.
I got Matt Painter as I'd bet right now that he doesn't make it out of the first round. The second round, maybe. Come on. That team is going to collapse. Duke, after watching Duke play last night at Arkansas, those boys, I'm sorry. Listen, all right, let me say it more positively because I was going to say it negatively.
Okay.
It makes me look back on Leitner and say, shit, Joe, that guy could ball. Because you watch Filipowski come back. Here's Filipowski. I'm going to come back. His tournament last year, embarrassing. I'm going to come back. I'm going to play. I'm going to do this. I could have won the NBA, but I'm going to stay, and we're going to dominate. Yeah, you got to win the game. He scored 25 of the ugliest points I've ever seen. 10 of 26 from the field. Those guys got outplayed completely against an undermanned.
I'm marking it down. November 30th, 2023, 12-15. Anthony finally in how long is our relationship now? 2 years? 3 years?
Yeah.
Finally, for the first time, you've identified yourself as a Carolina fan.
No.
So, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
As a Carolina fan, I thought Shire was the guy. I was like, wow, that guy's going to be a guy. He's going to be really hard to deal with. But what you see now is how much K impacted the refs. He had a huge impact.
Yes, he did.
A huge impact.
Yes,
it is an undeniable. And I am not a blame the ref guy. I love the referees. It might, in fact, be my second career. So all the listeners don't hose me if I leave the pizza business, go into refereeing. I love it. If I mess up a call, I'm sorry. I like the refs a lot. But K got every call, everything. His team also, when was the last time, in the recent years, maybe there were a few, but classic era K, when did his teams just get outplayed by a less talented team like that?
You mean last night?
Last night. Yeah, other than like a K team doesn't do that.
I mean, he won national championships in years where he lost in Raleigh to NC State. So it happened.
Yeah, but like,
I just enjoy this.
ACC game is different. ACC
waiting
game is
for you to-
different.
I've
NC
been
State,
waiting for
great
you to
school.
show your Tar Heel colors. This is it. We finally did it. We finally found it.
No, I would have bet. Listen, before the start of the year, I would have bet too, 100%.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just saying
your
this
pick,
team
your
is,
pick here is going to be directly related to a team that went into Cameron and won a game.
and absolutely ate their freaking lunch. For my man Roy Williams, he took their brownies. Give me Arizona. They play tough as hell inside. That's a tough team.
So
give
you
me
got
defense, baby.
Arizona and Marquette. So you have two of the top 6 teams on the board.
I'm staying high.
Very bold.
No,
Anthony,
listen,
bold.
you got to pick a winner, Joe. It's not the best odds. You got to pick the winner.
You're right. You're right.
And rises
and if it's a
top.
crazy year, we probably shouldn't be ignoring UConn at 14-1 either. But all right, they're in spreadsheet now. We've made our futures picks for college basketball. Looking forward to the college basketball season. Looking forward to closing out the NFL season as well. If you're here on the YouTubes, just hit the button. It's right there. Subscribe. Appreciate you guys. A little thumbs up. Leave a comment. Leave your picks. Appreciate everyone for supporting us. And we'll be back next week right here on Picks and Pizza. We'll see how hot Anthony can stay.